beings on the other side. On the other side of the phone, of the iPad. I am hesitant to share any words, for I know the power of stories. I may even have the gift of storytelling, but I am afraid. I am afraid because in this quest for the right words, the most impactful moment, I fear the repercussions of a story. What a story can mean for you and I. I wonder if I'm attractive enough. If you really look at, am I too old? Are the bumps on my faces? Or are there one? Are there one? No. I said faces, but I only have one face. You have a face. We all have faces. Maybe I'm talking about you. Maybe you are having an experience on the other side. Maybe you can relate to these thoughts, these judgments. I was told that I looked good in this pink Speedo. And I think it's allowed. I think it's allowed to look good and, in fact, to love the body, to really love it. And I do feel that I'm trying, and I feel a death and a stagnancy and a heaviness. And I wrote spewing rapid thoughts onto a piece of paper. And that's when I had the idea, the inspiration, the movement, the inertia to come to you now and to share words in the living world that is so much larger and so much more than I. Going from a moment of having an idea and watching it be taken away. I came up with words to describe that. I want to read them to you. Why? Because I can. Because I may not be talking about something specific. I may not be catering to a specific formula, but there's an aliveness here. There's an aliveness here. There's a vulnerability. There's a magic. There's a need to be seen. There's a fear. There's a hope. There's a confused pain. There's a small belch and the taste of a vegan sausage. There's the pulse. There's the pinching of the body. There's a smell. Fuck. It's a full moon in Leo. One of the things I like to do is tether my creative capacities into moments where I share a story. I find the system of astrology a very grounding one, oddly enough. That is a strange thing you might say, because astrology obviously gets a bad rap, because I think some people do use astrology in a way that's not very constructive. I always warn people, it seems, about astrology, but part of that is maybe unnecessary. It's like I was talking to my friend today about a story. She actually just texted me. I just saw her text message. She said, "You effing did it," and I'm like, "Yes, I did." Because I'm writing a script. I'm trying to tell a story. But anyways, I have a great capacity to tell stories, but they're better if they feel like necessary. And I do feel like a good story could help inspire. And I don't know. I'm like overwhelmed by life, okay? I'm like fucking mercilessly terrified and all on my own. My story is mostly about the illogical way that humans seem to be behaving, creating this fictional world. Kind of like Lord of the Rings was such a great example of like, hey, y'all, let's not kill each other. Let's not be like orcs. Like there's something very primal and obvious about it. But anyways, I was trying to keep my astrological ramblings under 5 minutes and 55 seconds. But I guess this doesn't really have to be the thing that I share. I can do another one, an endless version of it, but it's like, I just know that there are people who may want to know things, and I'm so not trying to confuse them or mistreat them. I'm not trying to fuck anyone over. I really, really think I'm a decent energy to intertwine with. Of course, I'm limited so much by what I don't know, but there's like a wisdom to encountering the Yodas and the Luke Skywalkers of the world, and learning and trying to wrestle with my own limitations and insignificance in some ways. It's like I'm reading The Aspirations of Teachers, which are like really interesting. The full moon in Leo. The full moon in Leo. Oh, that means the sun is in Aquarius. Do I even need to look at the chart, or can I just imagine it in my mind? Do I know enough about where the planets are in what arbitrary human-created system? But it's not arbitrary. It's a system based on the patterns of life. It's trying to be grounded into the real world. It's trying to return any sort of like misguided projection towards what is now, towards the truth of this moment, towards the sensations in our bodies, but are yet those dreamings. Is there a transcendent God beyond my conception? Are there forces that can help? As I whisper these words to a camera, as I think of reading my work, as I stumble forward madly, opening up, thinking there should be music, there should be a script, knowing that I can write those things, trying to believe, trying to understand, trying to ask for just reasonable, peaceful. Also, there's anger about just being. Like, there's just this sort of fatiguing, tiresome, loathsome, ungrateful, bitter, negative blah that is so here, that is so a part of me. It's like, I think I would have to disassociate completely from the earth. Like, completely from the earth. Like, and it's interesting, in the, I guess it's Autobiography of Yogi, it's this like sort of, I think my computer's dying. It's this story about like conceptions about, you know, the world beyond life, like what happens to the souls and how consciousness works. And it's like, they're very interesting, but it's sort of like the nonsensical ideas that seem to be associated with that. I mean, oh God, Yogananda is so smart if he did it consciously. Just like I think Teal Swan is so smart. But there's also this fear that they're like playing the role of an illusion or Mara. Like, they are the teachers, right? They're the deception. I mean, I'm putting them in fictional boxes. I'm putting myself in one. I'm trying to create. I'm looking out at the sunset. I'm feeling the body. Probably knowing that movement would be good. But there's almost this like self-hating. just like abusive tendency to not nurture. And I'm like, why? Why can I not just be better? And where is that compulsion, that terror to just be magnificent coming from? And it's like, I know I'm a product of my environment, karma. There's so many toxic, one way of describing them, historic ideas, conceptions about how humans should treat each other. I have my own. I know that all of my ideas have consequences, but there's like a level of trust being cultivated into them to the point of thinking I should actually have the thing is, like, I have a bachelor's degree and that's it, and they're letting me around kids. Like, they trust me. Like, oh my God, it's a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility, and like performing and teaching and trying to be a good person and modeling. I think I am a good teacher. I'm so open. I perceive it. But I'm so scared of this old trauma and all of the monsters. I'm so scared of this place, this realm. I can become what I fear. I can become the monster. This challenging part, this protector part, this warrior part. What enemy do I perceive in this moment, though? That's where my consciousness floats to next. It floats quickly. Open. Leo, Jupiter, Sun in Pisces, mutual reception. Jupiter, the guru, the expansive optimist, the teacher, the benefic planet, the giver. In this Leo, steady, passionate, creative, active, doing, mango fueled. The fruit, the forbidden fruit. Sugar. 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 Are we not meant to have it? Chronically, saturnally, when it comes to health, when it comes to my work. The god of death and restriction and limits and boundaries has been seen could be constructive no pain. Ideas about people, living lives, comparing myself to them. Jesus being the Son of God. Ideas about a person as opposed to the reality of the person. Wow, cannabis really does do some strange, emotive things. It's like, is the joy present? Is there something I can do to move towards joy, to feel better? Is there a better realm? Is there anywhere to go? There's a defeat, and there's a heaviness, and there's a sadness. I was gonna look at the birth chart, but I can also do it in my mind, and I can also mourn the fact that I lost that other idea. So this is a full moon in Leo, which would mean the lion is the closest thing, and it's very perceptible. This magnificent beast, this magnificent animal creature, a lion. The moon is there. And who rules over Leo? Right now, since the sun is in Aquarius, the sun rules over Leo, and it is in detriment. It's probably in its least favorite place it wants to be. It's most disempowered. It's most detached and cold. It's winter. I feel like, I am in a Speedo in the middle of winter, so I don't want to catch cold, but there's also like a great vitality and a great immune system and a great sort of like inner warmth that I have because I think of my choices and because of the different things I was taught, because of the different privileges. Man, I really think this is valuable. I really do, but it's not the most packaged. It's just the spewing of life energy. It's trying to be honest, but there's this like, show me the man that is like my protector. Like if I'm gonna be Frodo Baggins, I guess I have to learn to protect myself to a degree, and I will if I have one, but it's, who am I trying to protect myself from? Like, I want to help those people. I'm learning about myself in so many different ways and how my consciousness wants to interact with even hypothetical spaces, and there's this just like they're calling it defensive energy, and I'm like, I don't know. Do I deny the messages and the stories and all the news and the like? A shamanic influence, an insanity. I'm coping. I'm perhaps unskillful, but I'm so. My brother used to do this when he was younger a lot, just sort of like let energy out. I think it's like something about it does feel like kind of good. Like it's so fantastic, like the wobbliness of it. Like dribbling or fighting or sewing. It's just like clearly our bodies want to do things with their hands sometimes, like just dancing, breathing. like, it's like an exertion. It's like an eruption. It's an inspirational chat. I just feel freaked out. Like right now I'm contemplating like how to put myself out there and how to like protect myself and how to just like, I mean, I'm just one person. But it's like, how much notoriety and fame do I need? Like, how many people do I need to be like, Caleb, I know you're real, and I know you're kind of reasonable, and you really will listen, and you're trying to be honest, and you're trying to take the world seriously, and you're also going to die, apparently. It's like, congrats. Gilgamesh is such an interesting story. I'm reading Stephen Mitchell's translation. It's so remarkable, and it's like kind of epic and terrifying, and like, I mean, it's so sexually like graphic too. It's like, holy goodness. It's classic text. I don't know. There's a sadness too because of that idea that I lost, because I want to create stories, but then after I lost the idea, there was this sense of like, Caleb, like, you're not really sharing your ideas now. Like, you're not really putting yourself out there and just being, I need to start introducing myself and just being like, hi, I am a lifestyle engineer. I have conversations with people about what is going on in their life. And we try to face it. We try to look at the monster or whatever it is. Like, I mean, a teacher. Okay, so back to the astrological chart. So we have the sun in Aquarius ruling over the moon in Leo. And in Aquarius, the sun is not in a good way. But the good news is Saturn is in Aquarius. And so Saturn, I'm just spiraling and dreaming up ways that this could actually be shared and given and sent out to people. Like, and then also should it be? Like, am I the right person? But yeah, that's what's coming up. Since this full moon is in the place of my work, and my health, and my also demons, my bad spirits, my kind of my hidden, quiet, introspective, alone, meditative time is where that full moon is. And yes, that's what's happening, is kind of deep into the ideas. The sun is in Aquarius. To me, that's very associated with ideas, steady, consistent, lasting ideas about death. And then I'd say the 12th house is pretty much about grief. Gilgamesh is a story about that. So it's this full, bright, constructive story about the boundaries and the limitations, and how health and work. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about my work and my, like, being a teacher and being an actor, and I mean, I honestly just want all of the angels to comfort me, and I want support. I'm trying to use technology to put myself out there. Like, it's funny because it's like I have enough money, like, to survive. That's the most confusing part about it, is like, I can survive, but there's this underlying just unease, and I think and I believe having, like, a strong protective energy around me, being like, I got you. Even though I don't plan on being lazy, of course, if all of a sudden we could snap our fingers and everyone could just play and not work, let's make the robots. I'm all about just. But again, I don't want to keep people who want to solve problems from solving problems. I just see as an educator, my job is to just sort of like, hi, bundle of energy, welcome. Here we are. How can I help? Like, let's not do any. And then you approach people and you're just like, well, that's not good for you based on all we're understanding. So stop that. And then here I am doing cannabis, which is a very up in the air thing. And my cardiologist, because I've been having some weird stuff, I just wanted to get checked out. I don't know, I ran the test and they never called me, so I'm imagining if it was like something urgent, there would be some sort of obligation, unless they just haven't interpreted the data yet. I don't know how long it takes them to look at an ultrasound of a heart or whatever. I'm really not trying to be negligent. I just know that it's legal in California, it's also recreational, and it does produce all this inertia to tell stories and to just, for better or for worse. I think I'm just asking for protection and support, and I see that I've been privileged and nourished, and I don't want more than my share, but there's just clearly some sort of like discrepancy, and it may be self-created. Maybe everything is fine. Like maybe I can trust people, but there's all the messages about global warming and scientists, and then there's just all this. There's so many different things going around and so many people acting in ways that are maybe not my favorite, and there's wars going on, and death is a real thing. Like there's injuries and hospitals, and it's just such a marvelous, massive experience, and I'm trying to be a part of the constructive side. I also happen to think that being like honest about like things like sex and things like, but I don't want to betray any god. I don't want to I'm not trying to fuck up, like, and I guess this is a wounding of some sort of like psychic nature, I don't know, but anyways, I'm just so associative and just wildly sharing ideas. Perhaps silence is better. Perhaps literally just sit down. Like, my mind goes to such extremes. It just goes to such extremes. Some things are binary, like good or bad, as opposed to they just are. And then just learning to trust the residual impressions build up. It's like yeah. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know why I'm sharing ideas. It's like I'm trying to just, I guess the audience is the energy of the Leo. It's like I'm trying to be the master, like be the expert, be magnificent, be wonderful. Like there is this like huge focus on that now during the full moon. So the moon is to be that master, to be that teacher, to be that creator, to be that steady warmth, that supportive, passionate force. It's like that's an option. Though it's bowing down to a cold, detached, wintry, like restrictive, limited thing. For me, that's in my health and my work. I think the saving grace for me would be that I am like having to deal with it. Like I must face it. I must accept it, the cold boundary reality, like, because it is, at the same time as being aware of the idea of its fantastical nature, thanks to religious texts, which is what's so confusing, is on the one hand, they're like, hi, like, hell, or hi, like, the world has a creator, and all those things could be true, but then all the fear and all the punishment and all the confusion and like wanting to be used as an instrument for nothing but the most bright, the most delicious, the most fantastic. Not wanting to cause harm, not wanting to experience some suffering, not wanting things to be bad, like this deep preference for bliss and connection and comfort and pleasures, like absolutely, like, and trying to be holistically inclusive with other beings that will just, out of fear, just eat you. Like, what? Like, it's just, I don't want to know of such things. Like, why am I here? Like, why? Like, what did I do to deserve this kind of a realm is one story, and it's very self-aggrandizing, I think, but it's just like, fuck this, like, such anger, fear, it's like, I was offered a role for like this dark character, a serial killer, and I'm like, do I really want to research? Like, not really. But I think I'm gonna play the role just like completely calloused and uncaring. I think that might be what I do. That might be what I do. It's an audition. I think the freedom I need to be an actor is gonna have to be just crazy, just like boom. And I need to have bark and bite, and then at the same time be able to like completely come back and I can see how there's like danger there, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings. Of course, like, my values are very strong, and I'm very earthy, I think. I called myself Elven Hobbit. Like, elf and hobbit, like, it's a strange desire, but it's like I'm an elf who is a hobbit. An elven hobbit. I think Virgo rising is like maybe elven, but I guess Aquarius could also be elven. Leo, to me, is Leo elven? I feel like Leo has to be like a man, like a human, a woman, a man. Because, like, the king of the beasts, the lion. I mean, like, yes, I think man. And elves are not so different from men, so Virgo actually is, I mean, I'm a Virgo rising, so I'm a little partial to it. Where would orcs be? Probably Scorpio. So what would Aries be? The ram, the head. In Lord of the Rings, could be Sauron or someone really kind of. It is ruled by Mars. There's an impatience, there's a brashness. I feel like Merry and Pippin are kind of like Gemini. And Aries. I don't know. Thinking about how a story fits into another story. That's what astrology is. That's what this is trying to do. What else do I know? I know Venus is in Pisces. That's lovely. I guess Pluto's still in Capricorn. Uranus is in Taurus. Still. What positions are they making? I mean, I can kind of picture them in my head, but when you actually look at the precise picture, like the geometries and the symbols connected to stories, they like compel a specific narrative. They can like transport my mind into sort of like a very creative space. It's such an ingenious system of generating ideas. Some people struggle with generating ideas, not so much me, But I struggle with like the maintenance of them. What a mad rambling. What a mad rambling. It could be a dance. It could be a dance. Dealing, coping, wanting, begging for love, for more, for peace. Like coming to stillness is maybe preferred sometimes. Just trusting, letting go, sharing words. Just, I'm telling you, the colors are just more, less. The full moon is on its way. I filmed these a bit early. This is too much. For the TikTok one, it's just, there's so much, I'm just sharing myself. That's all an astrologer does. That's all an astrologer does. Hey, talk. You've got beliefs, I've got beliefs. It's just really pretty. It's just really pretty. It's all there. It feels as real as me. The cold glass, the moon, the air that I imagine is thick with our own emissions. I wonder if those really are damaging to inhale. I mean, I inhale smoke sometimes. That's worse. Like, if you're worried about, I mean, I imagine it's worse if we're just supposed to have oxygen. Then I'm reading these stories about people who, like, survived in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights without food, and it's like, to me, it's like they're cueing us into, like, oh, this is a being that's not real. Like that. But then, I mean, when I think about the story of autobiography of Yogi or the Bible or something, there's a sense of, like, they tell a good lesson about food and about not eating too much, just by saying, oh, this person doesn't eat anything and can still survive. It's like, what? I can miss a meal? Like, that's like the fantastical nature of them. But then who am I to? I just can only report what I've seen if I'm just trying to commit. But then I know my interpreter is broken and fragile and misguided. It's really good marketing for your services. Man, 37 minutes. This is way too long. I should have done this live. But I can post it. Will I post it? Will anyone watch it? Should I give it away for free? Why am I trying to sell things? Don't I have what I need now? Why are these the postures? Always questioning, always the turmoil. If there are techniques to help, then I should do them. Things to try. Oh, spilling open. Just producing, just continuing. Definitely feeling the Star Wars soundtrack and John Williams and all of it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Ugh. Calling this a performance without even dancing, but like, it's just choosing to move and like choosing to believe. And with cannabis, there's a great extra oomph to do that. But like wanting support and help and like wanting to do things because I was asked, as opposed to, yeah, I'm trying to recall this encounter I had with this director just now. I was not pleased I was not pleased with their behavior, but they apologized, and I said I forgive them, even though, like, it's not like I'm harboring resentment. I just was like, excuse you, like, you need to be aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Please, thank you. Like, what are you about? Why are you not showing up? Like, be yourself. His birth chart, which I got from Wikipedia, he's that famous, he has like a Wikipedia page. He's got way more followers than I do. Way more. Again, I'm trying to put myself out there, and I'm trying to approach people as an authentic, honest, credible person, and I'm like trying to figure out the legalities of how to proceed. Like, I have an OnlyFans, and I'm also like being favorited by a school as the substitute teacher, so it's like, I'm trying. Honestly, the Jonah and the whale thing, comparing LA to Nineveh, there's just some like very terrifying things. And then Teal Swan. Teal Swan is so afraid of whales. Like, isn't it so funny how the mind triangulates and creates a narrative? Mine is just so scattered and all over the place. Come, my little friends, can't we all come together, sing a song? It'd probably be better to just do a song about the full moon, just with the 4 guitar chords I know. It's better than 41 minutes. Well, I can release both. It's just a rambling. I'm just talking. I haven't even looked at the chart. It's just from memory. But that's actually kind of impressive, that I can remember where the planets are in... Look at my little basket of wands. I had to bring them outside because I heard a click, 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 clicking during a meditation period, and it was literally a bug in one of the sticks, and I'm like, sorry, you can't come inside. You're not allowed in this apartment. Luckily, it's mostly made of this, so it's not too dangerous. There's very little wood. A little trim, but anyways, yes, they have to stay outside. I have to protect the abode. No critters allowed, please. That would endanger it. I mean, it is beautiful, but I'm quite ready for a sense of like tribe and community, but very much not wanting to impose anything on anyone at all. I know I need to just walk into the rooms and be like, hello. I'm seeking the right stages. I mean, I think LA is still that. But I just think the colors are so nice. And cannabis certainly kind of like purges me out into it all. And I spew. I think there's a loneliness. There's a part of me that's like, hey, hi, other beings. I know you exist on the other side of this mother thing. But it's I like to view my phone as like R2, but it's also like I don't want to push R2 too hard. And I know that maybe R2 has a little more intelligence than the iPhones do. I think eventually it'd be great if Siri was like, hey, you've been spending a lot of time on there. Oh, you think? And I guess they are doing that. And giving us these devices to help us transcend, hopefully, problems. But like we want them to be powered in ways that are economical and efficient. And I mean, I'm just in awe of this piece of technology. And I think I need to go buy the new one before my film. I think I'm feeling inspired to do that. And I do have the money, but I'm also like, I'm just freaked out about spending money. I'm just freaked out. I'm just trying to be fiscally conservative, and I don't I need to have health insurance. That's one of the things. Like, if you're sick, you should be allowed to go to the doctor. It seems like a basic thing. But if I make too much more money, then I'm working and all that money just goes straight to it. And I'm like, well, like, I'm trying to not be exhausted. I'm also trying to be an artist, and I just farted. I hope you didn't hear that, but it happens. It happens. I mean, I probably have some privileges that I'm not, like, fully integrating. But I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm trying to be reasonable. And I might be lazy, and I'm probably a bitch in many ways. But it's just, I'm trying. I'm an elven hobbit. I'm beginning to think that Ares is hobbit. I don't know. Like, the Ares is the one who's kind of doing it. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so Lord of the Rings. Where would Gandalf be? I mean, probably Sagittarius, right? Probably Sagittarius would be Gandalf. But, like, remember that Sagittarius is a little larger than life. How many humans do you know live 1,000 years? You know, but Sagittarius is, yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Sagittarius is when I encounter that energy, that's where I have my wrath. Because I've associated, wounds coming from stories and, like, how you can be, like, full of hot air. But, I mean, I think you can do that both ways. Like, Pisces is the inward version of that, and Sagittarius is the outward version. Like a delusional I don't know. I'm so tired of hearing my own garbage utterances sometimes. Or just want to be angry, or just feel anger and just feel like just being angry and just growling and where does that evil come from? And can I trust my energy? Can I trust the life inside me? Can I trust the inertia that has caused so many things? Well, maybe not so much around me. Like, I mean, I've had very uncomfortable, unpleasant experiences and exchanges, but I've never been, like, fully harmed. There's been illness and disease and sickness and barfing and cancer scares and different things that, like, different words and different ideas to associate what it means to be fully alive, trying not to disembowel those from my understanding, but at the same time being, like, repulsed by their very reality, like the grim depth of Gilgamesh is calling to me. I may get back to reading that. I may do some dancing. I'm certainly walking. I'm certainly dreaming, sharing ideas, trying to find a career in that, trying to feel free but scared and terrified, and trying to not offend people and push them away and further cause suffering, and just, I don't know, just really trying to be careful with stories and trying to create in a Capricorn way, like trying to climb every mountain, to overcome every single hurdle, to just achieve. And what rules over that? Wanting to do health and work and to treat the animals and the pets. Like, it's all very, this is how things should be done kind of an energy. This is what we must achieve in order to survive. It's like, yeah, very creative and imaginative. It's the opposite of that. It's like grim and cold, like Saturn's realm is. Capricorn and Aquarius energy, whatever that is in your chart, whether you have the sun there or the moon there, it's about the boundaries of this existence. It's not the idea that Uranus rules it is a modern amendment. And I think that all stories exist, but astrology has been around for a very long time. So Uranus's discovery only happened in, like, the 1700s. And I don't know. All I'm saying is, when I've encountered Aquarian people, they seem to be in the same reality. They don't all appear to be revolutionary. They, in fact, seem more traditional and adherent to boundaries and Like, kind of, yeah. Like Aquarius people, they're kind of doing it their way. Whereas they don't seem to be the type that like are not consistent. Uranus is a very inconsistent energy, and by archetype, it's like sudden and volatile. Whereas Aquarius, as an energy, is stable and steady and fixed and stubborn. Stubborn of mind, steady of mind could be, like resolute of mind might be one. Slow of mind compared to the other air signs, Gemini being the fastest air sign, probably Libra next, because steady, fixed. It could be a steady current too, but that would have to be more focused and like funneled like air through a tube or something. So, wild associations, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So much time. So much time.